Picture this: a solitary island rising from a silvery expanse of sea and sand. This is Mont Saint-Michel, a place where myth and history intertwine. Legend has it that in the 8th century, Bishop Aubert of Avranches was visited by the Archangel Michael. In a dream, the Archangel commanded him to build a church atop the island. Aubert initially dismissed the dream, but Michael appeared 2 more times. With a touch of his glowing finger, Michael left a searing mark on Aubert's skull. Driven by divine inspiration, Aubert set about fulfilling his celestial mission, laying the foundation for a legend. Mont Saint-Michel evolved from a simple oratory to a grand abbey, attracting pilgrims and scholars. Its strategic location made it a coveted prize in medieval power struggles. During the 100 Years' War, English forces laid siege to Mont Saint-Michel. The island, protected by natural defenses and its defenders, held firm. The tides proved as formidable as any army, swallowing men and machines. The English retreated, leaving behind rusting cannons. Mont Saint-Michel emerged stronger, its reputation as an impregnable fortress cemented. Mont Saint-Michel's story is deeply intertwined with the rhythms of the sea. Twice a day, the sea reveals a treacherous path to the island. Travelers and pilgrims braved this perilous crossing. The tides shaped the physical landscape and the lives of its people. Tales abound of those who challenged the tides and lost. The surrounding salt marshes provide grazing ground for the region's famous sheep. This delicate ecosystem is a vital part of Mont Saint-Michel's unique character. Before the Benedictine monks, the island stood as a silent sentinel amidst the waves. The granite holds secrets older than recorded time. Whispers persist of an ancient past when the island served as a sacred site for Celtic tribes. Imagine druidic priests conducting rituals amidst the swirling mists and crashing waves. The island's silhouette would have held a powerful allure for a people connected to nature. The landscape seems to whisper of forgotten rituals and ancient power. The very air vibrates with unseen energies, a legacy of those who first recognized the sacred nature of this place. As Christianity spread, Mont Saint-Michel found itself at the heart of a spiritual awakening. In 708 AD, Bishop Aubert was troubled by vivid dreams of the Archangel Michael. Michael commanded Aubert to build a sanctuary in his honor atop the island. Aubert initially dismissed these visions, but Michael's presence grew impossible to deny. After the 3rd night, Michael pressed his glowing finger to Aubert's forehead, leaving a mark. Aubert, shaken, could no longer ignore the call. The construction of Mont Saint-Michel was about to begin. The task before Aubert was daunting. The island was isolated, buffeted by fierce winds and surrounded by treacherous tides. Aubert rallied his followers to transform the Archangel's vision into reality. The first structure was a modest stone chapel dedicated to Saint Michael. Pilgrims began to make their way to the bay, despite the dangers. The small oratory became a beacon of hope. The stage was set for the transformation of Mont Saint-Michel into a grand abbey. Word of Mont Saint-Michel spread across Christendom. Pilgrims flocked to the sacred isle seeking solace, forgiveness, or a glimpse of the divine. The journey was a test of faith and endurance. The final leg of the journey was the perilous crossing of the bay. Pilgrims hurried across the ephemeral bridge, their voices a murmur of prayers. The journey was a physical manifestation of their spiritual quest. Pilgrims played a vital role in shaping the island's destiny. Mont Saint-Michel evolved from a humble oratory to a sprawling complex of chapels, cloisters, and towers. Fueled by faith, ambition, and donations, the monks embarked on a building spree. Each abbot sought to outdo his predecessor. The island's limited space forced the builders to adapt and innovate. They created subterranean chambers and built upwards. The tides dictated the rhythm of construction. The abbey continued to rise, its foundations anchored in the rock, its spirit soaring above the waves. The construction of Mont Saint-Michel was an act of artistic expression. It required the skills of laborers, craftsmen and artisans. Stonecutters shaped the rough-hewn granite into precise blocks. Master masons assembled the abbey's walls and arches. Stained glass makers created intricate windows. Painters adorned the walls with vibrant frescoes. Sculptors brought life to saints and gargoyles, their creations watching over the abbey. Mont Saint-Michel's architecture reflects medieval Europe's evolving styles. The abbey began in the 10th century with Romanesque solidity. Built to withstand invasions, it exuded strength. As stability grew, Gothic style emerged. Gothic architecture emphasized height and light. Mont Saint-Michel embraced this new style. The 13th century spire exemplifies Gothic influence. Topped with Archangel Michael, it pierces the sky. Stained glass windows add ethereal beauty. The blend of styles gives it unique character. History is felt in its granite foundations, a testament to faith, ingenuity, and evolving art. Mont Saint-Michel, however, was far more than just a collection of impressive buildings. Within its walls, a vibrant community of Benedictine monks dedicated their lives to prayer, scholarship, and the preservation of knowledge. The abbey became a renowned center of learning, its scriptorium a hive of activity where monks painstakingly copied and illuminated manuscripts, preserving the wisdom of the ancients and contributing to the intellectual ferment of the Middle Ages. Imagine, if you will, the hushed silence of the scriptorium. The only sounds, the gentle scratching of quills on parchment and the rustling of robes as monks moved between desks piled high with books and scrolls. Here, bathed in the soft glow of oil lamps, they labored tirelessly, their days measured out in prayers and the steady rhythm of their work. The monks of Mont Saint-Michel were not merely copyists, they were scholars in their own right, studying the classics, translating texts from Greek and Latin, and contributing their own theological treatises and commentaries. Their work helped to disseminate knowledge throughout Europe, playing a vital role in the transmission of ideas during the Middle Ages. The abbey's library, housed in a grand chamber with vaulted ceilings and walls lined with bookshelves, became a treasure trove of knowledge, attracting scholars from far and wide. Here, amidst the musty scent of parchment and leather, one could find works on theology, philosophy, history, and even science, a testament to the monks' thirst for knowledge and their belief in the power of the written word. Life within the walls of Mont Saint-Michel was governed by a strict routine of prayer, work, and contemplation. The monks, who had taken vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, followed the rule of Saint Benedict, a 6th century guide to monastic life that emphasized balance, discipline, and the pursuit of spiritual perfection. The day began before dawn with the first of 7 daily prayer services, known as the Divine Office. Gathered in the Abbey Church, its vast nave illuminated by flickering candles, the monks chanted psalms, read from scripture, and offered up prayers of intercession and thanksgiving. These services, spaced throughout the day, provided a rhythm to monastic life, punctuating the hours with moments of communal worship and reflection. Between prayer services, the monks dedicated themselves to their assigned tasks. Some worked in the fields and gardens, providing sustenance for the community. Others labored in the workshops, maintaining the abbey's buildings, crafting furniture, or tending to the needs of the infirmary. Still others, as we have seen, devoted themselves to scholarship in the scriptorium or library. Despite the strictness of their routine, the monks of Mont Saint-Michel were not isolated from the world outside the abbey walls. They welcomed pilgrims, offering them food and lodging, and tending to their spiritual needs. They provided medical care to the sick and shelter to the poor, and they played an active role in the political and economic life of the region, advising local rulers and managing the abbey's vast land holdings. As the abbey at Mont Saint-Michel rose in architectural splendor, its strategic importance grew in equal measure. Perched on its granite pedestal, surrounded by a sea that shifted from treacherous quicksand to an impassable expanse of water twice a day, the island was a natural fortress. Its very existence, a testament to faith, also made it a coveted prize in the tumultuous world of medieval politics and warfare. The Dukes of Normandy, recognizing the island's strategic value, bestowed upon the abbey both land and privileges, forging a bond that would shape the destiny of both the religious community and the duchy itself. For the dukes, Mont Saint-Michel was more than just an abbey. It was an unsinkable ship anchored off their coast, a sentinel guarding the maritime approaches to their realm. The monks, for their part, welcomed the duke's patronage, recognizing that their own security and prosperity were intertwined with the fate of their secular rulers. They offered prayers for the duke's well-being, provided hospitality to his court when they visited the abbey, and even supplied men and resources in times of war. This symbiotic relationship, forged in an era of shifting alliances and constant strife, would prove crucial to the survival of both the abbey and the duchy. But the very factors that made Mont Saint-Michel such a formidable stronghold also made it a tempting target for ambitious rivals. As the centuries passed and the political landscape of Europe shifted, the island abbey found itself caught in a tug-of-war between kingdoms, its fate hanging in the balance as armies clashed on the shores of Normandy. Section 2, The Ramparts Rise, fortifying the island abbey. The transformation of Mont Saint-Michel from a place of peaceful contemplation to a fortified stronghold was gradual, driven by necessity as much as by design. The abbey's early defenses were rudimentary: thick walls, strategically placed arrow slits, and a handful of watchtowers offering a commanding view of the surrounding countryside and the treacherous bay below. But as the threat of invasion loomed larger, so too did the abbey's defenses. The monks, guided by military architects and engineers, embarked on an ambitious program of fortification, their goal to create an impregnable bastion capable of withstanding the most determined enemy. The island, once a place of open arms and spiritual refuge, began to take on the appearance of a fortress, its sacred spaces overshadowed by the grim realities of medieval warfare. The approaches to the island were fortified with a series of gates, each more formidable than the last. Towers, their walls studded with arrow slits and murder holes, rose at strategic points along the ramparts, offering interlocking fields of fire. Elevated walkways allowing defenders to move quickly between different sections of the fortifications were added to the outer walls. The monks, their lives now intertwined with the defense of the abbey, took up arms alongside professional soldiers, their prayers mingled with the clang of armor and the rasp of swords being sharpened. The abbey's workshops, once dedicated to the creation of illuminated manuscripts and religious relics, were repurposed for the production of weapons and armor. Mont Saint-Michel, once a beacon of peace and learning, was now a fortress prepared for war. Section 3. A kingdom divided Mont Saint-Michel in the 100 Years' War. The 100 Years' War, a protracted and bloody conflict that engulfed England and France in the 14th and 15th centuries, tested the mettle of Mont Saint-Michel like never before. The conflict, rooted in disputes over succession to the French throne and fueled by economic rivalries, spread like wildfire across the continent, leaving a trail of devastation and upheaval in its wake. Normandy, caught between the warring factions, became a battleground. English armies, their ranks swelled by seasoned veterans and ambitious younger sons eager to carve out their own fortunes, swept across the region, seizing towns and castles, their banners a constant reminder of the precariousness of French rule. Mont Saint-Michel, however, remained a stubborn bastion of French resistance, its formidable defenses and strategic location making it a thorn in the side of the English. The island abbey, its garrison bolstered by French troops and determined monks, withstood repeated assaults, its walls echoing with the sounds of battle, the twang of bowstrings, the clash of steel, and the cries of the wounded. The English, frustrated by their inability to capture the island by storm, resorted to siege warfare. They surrounded Mont Saint-Michel with their armies, cutting off supply lines and bombarding the abbey with trebuchets and cannons, their iron projectiles crashing against the granite walls. Yet despite the ferocity of the English assault, the defenders held firm, their resolve strengthened by their faith, their patriotism, and the knowledge that the fate of Normandy itself might hinge on their ability to hold out. Section 4. The Iron Embrace when Cannons Met Granite. The siege of Mont Saint-Michel was a dramatic clash of old and new. The English brought their artillery, hurling massive projectiles. The defenders relied on courage and the natural strength of their position. They countered with smaller cannons aiming for enemy siege engines. Boiling oil and quicklime repelled attackers scaling the walls. The tides played a crucial role in the defense. They hampered English siege works and swallowed men and materials. Supplies and reinforcements arrived during low tides. The English couldn't break the defenders' resolve. The siege dragged on, a testament to both sides' determination. Mont Saint-Michel would not be broken. The English abandoned the siege, their dreams dashed against the granite walls. Mont Saint-Michel, the indomitable fortress, entered a new era. The 100 Years' War had receded, leaving the island battered but unbroken. The Renaissance and Reformation challenged its religious dominance. The abbey's fortunes waned as the French monarchy consolidated power. Mont Saint-Michel, once a beacon of piety, found itself adrift in changing beliefs. Its grandeur faded, a half-remembered dream. The storm that had been brewing for centuries finally broke in 1789 with the French Revolution. The monarchy was overthrown, shaking French society to its core. Mont Saint-Michel, once a religious sanctuary, was repurposed. In 1793, it became a prison. Grand halls turned into cells, iron bars replaced stained glass. The island, once a pilgrimage site, now housed the condemned. Life within Mont Saint-Michel's prison was harsh and brutal. The abbey offered little comfort or sanitation. Cells were cramped, damp, and infested with vermin. Disease spread quickly and the death rate was high. Prisoners were stripped of their identities and assigned to grueling work. Some labored in workshops, producing goods for the war effort. Others toiled in fields, monitored by guards. The psychological toll was devastating. The island's isolation was a constant reminder of separation from the outside world. The relentless tides mocked the prisoners' suffering. Stories of their plight fueled outrage and condemnation. Writers and intellectuals called for the prison's closure. Mont Saint-Michel had become a stain on the nation's conscience. Section 4. Whispers of Freedom, the End of an Era. The wheels of justice grind slowly, but grind they do. The French Revolution's fervor gave way to a more pragmatic approach to governance. The excesses of the terror left the nation weary and disillusioned. In 1836, Victor Hugo visited Mont Saint-Michel. He was appalled by the degradation and suffering he witnessed. Hugo's critiques stirred public opinion. Other prominent figures joined the campaign. They argued the prison was a moral outrage. Finally, in 1863, Napoleon III ordered its closure. The last prisoners were ferried back to the mainland. A dark chapter ended, but the scars remain. Section 1. Rebirth of an Icon, from Prison to World Heritage Site. The closure of the prison in 1863 marked a turning point in the history of Mont Saint-Michel. The island began a slow and painstaking process of healing and restoration. The abbey, bearing the scars of its time as a prison, stood as a potent symbol of resilience. It was a monument in need of a mission, a treasure almost lost to history. Inspired by Victor Hugo, a new generation of architects, historians, and artists began the restoration. They recognized Mont Saint-Michel's unique blend of natural beauty, architectural splendor, and historical significance. The restoration was a monumental undertaking, balancing authenticity with modern needs. Architects repaired crumbling walls, rebuilt arches, and stabilized foundations. Artisans restored stained glass windows, their workshops filled with the glow of molten glass. Historians pieced together the island's complex past. Slowly, Mont Saint-Michel began to reclaim its former glory. Reclaiming the island's natural splendor. The restoration extended beyond the abbey's walls. The island's unique ecosystem required attention. Silting threatened to sever Mont Saint-Michel's connection to the sea. A bold project was undertaken. Engineers and environmentalists restored the bay's tidal flow. A new dam and sluice gates were constructed. The impact was transformative. Tides scoured away accumulated silt. Salt marshes flourished anew. Mont Saint-Michel regained its mystical allure. A new bridge replaced the old causeway. The bridge allows access while preserving the island's character. Mont Saint-Michel stands as a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit, where history, faith, and natural beauty converge. Visitors flock to this island abbey, drawn by its iconic silhouette and rich history. The journey begins the moment one sets foot on the island. The narrow cobbled streets wind their way up, offering glimpses of the bay. Within the abbey's walls, a sense of awe descends. The grand halls echo with the whispers of tourists. The cloisters offer moments of quiet contemplation. The abbey church inspires reverence and wonder. From the ramparts, the view is breathtaking. The bay shimmers under the Norman sky. The tides continue their relentless dance, a reminder of time's passage. Reflect on the island's past and marvel at its enduring allure. Mont Saint-Michel, once a place of pilgrimage, a fortress, and a prison, has entered the 21st century as a symbol of hope and renewal. It stands as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognized for its universal value and its contribution to humanity's shared cultural heritage. Mont Saint-Michel is a living, breathing place, its history interwoven with the present, its future shaped by our choices today. As we draw to a close our exploration of Mont Saint-Michel, it's impossible not to be struck by the sheer scope of transformation this small island has witnessed. Over the centuries, it has worn many mantles: sacred isle, architectural marvel, military stronghold, prison of despair, and now, a beacon of cultural heritage. Each layer of its history is imprinted on its very essence, a testament to the ebb and flow of time and the enduring power of the human spirit. From the first humble oratory erected by a bishop driven by divine inspiration to the soaring Gothic spires that seem to pierce the heavens, the island has continually evolved, reflecting the ambitions, aspirations, and anxieties of the ages. It has known periods of great spiritual fervor, when pilgrims braved treacherous tides seeking solace and redemption, and times of darkness, when the clang of iron bars replaced the chanting of monks, and the island became a symbol of isolation and despair. Yet, through it all, Mont Saint-Michel has endured. Like a ship weathering a storm, it has navigated the choppy waters of history, its foundations anchored in the very rock of its being. Each challenge, each transformation has only served to strengthen its mystique, adding new layers of meaning to its already rich tapestry. The island stands today as a testament to the power of human endeavor, to our capacity for both creation and destruction, for faith and oppression, for isolation and connection. It is a place where the contradictions of our nature are laid bare, where the past whispers its warnings and offers its wisdom in equal measure. The legacy of Mont Saint-Michel is multifaceted, a complex interplay of tangible and intangible elements. The abbey, with its soaring arches and intricate carvings, showcases medieval artistry. The ramparts highlight the island's strategic importance. The bay's shifting tides shape the landscape and life. Beyond the structures, a spirit draws visitors globally. This spirit blends history, faith, and natural beauty. Within the abbey, one feels awe and history. Monks dedicated to prayer and scholarship, pilgrims seeking solace and redemption, prisoners enduring confinement. Their stories add a palpable weight to the air. The tides, eternal guardians, shape the island's destiny. The waters rise and fall, revealing the cyclical nature of time. Mont Saint-Michel remains a place of enduring enchantment. Lose yourself in labyrinthine streets, each turn revealing a new vista. Stand on the ramparts, gaze at the vast bay, feeling history's ebb and flow. Boundaries blur, ancient stories mingle with modern life. Seek spiritual solace, historical enlightenment, or respite from modern life. Reflect on the past, contemplate the present, dream of the future, reconnect with nature, marvel at our ancestors' ingenuity, bid farewell, carrying lessons of hope and humility. Mont Saint-Michel stands as a beacon where time stands still.